luckily I had this in my van because I've not got any of these fuses on me at the minute. We must have used them all. But I had this Texacom alarm panel in my van, which has got a little 3.15 amp in that fuse carrier there. So I'm just borrowed that for the minute, just so we can actually move on with the testing of this. Okay, now I'm looking at, we've got this on, we've put the fuse in, we've got voltage at the pump and at the valve connections now. So the pump is on. It's opened the connection for the zone valve now for the underfloor heating, which is good. That in turn fired the boiler up and started the circulating pump, but it got to heat quickly and then turned off again because the actuators weren't open at that point. So it started circulating water and then it got to temperature, whatever the internal temperature is set at on this, and then it shut off. So at the minute now we're okay, we've got everything where we want it to, the boiler fired up. So now I'm at the point with the thermostats now. So like I said before, it's rare that all 8 come on, especially when the guy only had 5 and there's another one over there. He only had 6 supplied, thermostats supplied with the system. So why 8 would come on, I don't know. So that's what, like I said, it suggests that there's an issue. So this thermostat is on frost and is not calling for heat. So this one's not calling, this one's not calling, not calling, not calling. And then this one's got a little fire indicator at the top, yeah, which is indicating it's calling for heat. That little symbol at the top there means it's calling for heat. So we've got one, so I can highlight these for you so you can see them. There we go. Turn that off. So there you go. That's on frost at the top. So it's protection at the top. Little picture of the house with a little frost symbol in. No calling for heat. Yeah, picture of the house, frost symbol, no calling. Picture of the house, frost, frost. So like I said, this is the only one that is actually calling for heat. So that setting there, you would normally, the frost setting, you'd normally put that on if you don't want the heating on. But if it does drop below a certain temperature in the house, like 5 degrees or something, it will bring the heating on, just to circulate some warm water in the pipes so they don't freeze. So you might maybe you'd put that on when you're away and you're away from home. So this is the symbol that you're looking for. So out of them 5, only 1 is calling for heat. Yeah, on here it shows 8 are calling for heat. So I'm just going to try and repair these. I'm going to reset these and then try and pair them to the system. But what I'm thinking here now is that all them relays are just stuck in that position. There is no way of switching them off. They're just all on because of the damage done to the circuit board when this guy was connecting up what he's done. So I'll just give this a try first. If that's unsuccessful, then I'm going to have to walk away from here today with this still not working. As I mentioned yesterday, I said I'd get it done in a day, but I didn't. I was here for 12 hours and I didn't get it done. So because I ended up totally rewiring the entire heating control system and in here, and that wasn't a part of my plan. So I thought if I do a long day, I could get it done and then get it connected up and then get all the thermostats paired, fixed into position in the house. Then I've got to do the programming of the whole thing then, and then connection of the Neo hub. There's a lot of stuff that's very time consuming doing this, and then once we've got it up and running and online, then I need to go through a zone by zone check to make sure that each thermostat or the online app is switching on and off each one of them circuits, and there is a lot of thorough checks to do, even when it's in, done, connected, program. Then we'll have to run a system check after that. See, the boiler's fired back up now. Little lights come on. So that's now was circulating the heat in there. It dropped below a certain temperature. It has fired the boiler back up now. Now water's been allowed to flow down this, because that opened, water flowed in that direction to there, but it stopped at that point when all the actuators were closed. Now all the actuators are open. So if you see they're all popped up. Normally they sink down and recess into this. So you know that they are open, because you normally get that a little bit of something that sticks out at the top. All these, they're all very different. All actuators are completely different. So as you can see, that end one there is not connected, because we don't know what that zone is, because there was no label on it. So I've disconnected that for the minute, and while the customer works out what zones are what in the house. Another issue that we get is these pipes, normally someone's put them in, if they have mixed up some of the pipe work when they've put it in and they've labelled up these incorrectly, and we connect a thermostat to this one thinking it's the kitchen, and we'll put the thermostat in the kitchen. Potentially this pipe here might be toilet or utility, because they've mixed them up when they were putting them in. So we would then have a thermostat in the kitchen controlling the utility heat loop. So the kitchen will never get to temperature, obviously, because the heat loop is in the utility room. The utility room will get extremely hot, and then we'll get complaints of the customer saying that room is really hot and that room is really cold. That's because the thermostats are connected to the incorrect zones, and that's not necessarily an issue, say, that we've done, or an issue that somebody else has done. If this pipework isn't labelled up correctly, we can only go off what is here. We don't know where this pipework goes. That's nothing we can do about that. So what we always recommend our customers to do after we've been in, because so many things have been done wrong in the entire installation, we always find that some of the pipework has been incorrectly labelled up as well. Not surprising. So yeah, what we say to do is put one zone on at a time. So turn the kitchen on, the kitchen thermostat, leave the rest off. Leave it for 2-3 hours at full pelt. Yeah, and then this will open, and then it will heat and then have a feel of the kitchen floor. But all the rest of the floor needs to be cold in the house, because it's hard to tell when there's a slight variation between temperature. You're crawling around on your hands and knees, feeling the floor there and feeling the floor there. It's easier when all the rest of the floor is cold, and then you've got a definite answer about where that heating loop is. So all the rest of the heating loops need to be cold.